Chag HaPesach, Sameach, Chag HaMatzot, Sameach. Here. Day two. A little delays, technical difficulties, but we push on through here. Day two of Pesach, of Passover here in the season. So day two, the second day of Pesach. Here, the 16th, corresponds to the 16th of Abib, right here. We have the readings from HaTorah. Torah readings, Leviticus chapter 22, focus verses 26 to chapter 23, verse 44. We have Numbers, the Maftir, the fire key reading, Numbers chapter 28, focus verses 16 to 25. Second Kings, within the Haftarah, the prophets reading Second Kings chapter 23, focus verses 1 to 9, as well as verses 21 to 25. Now, some begin what's known as the Omer count, the counting of the sheaves, around this time right here. Then the Brit Hadasha, renewed covenant, New Testament readings. We have Revelation chapter 15, focus verses 1 to 4. Focus verses 1 to 4. So once again, the second day's reading in Leviticus chapter 22, verse 26 to chapter 23, verse 44, we have Moshe instructing the Bnei Yisrael, the Israelites, in the observance of Ha-Shabbat, of the Sabbath and the Mo'adim. Mo'adim and the appointments, or called the festivals, the Mo'adim, the feasts, the festivals, including Pesach, Passover, as well as unleavened bread, days of unleavened bread, as well as the Bikurim, the first fruits that correspond to the resurrection of HaMashiach Yeshua, and Shabuot, Feast of Weeks. The Feast of Weeks, what's known as the Feast of Weeks, is also called Harvest, the Harvest Feast, aka Pentecost, because the 50th day we commanded to count 7 Shabbats complete. And on the morrow after the 7th Shabbat, that brings us the first day. Gentiles call it Sunday, but the first day corresponding to Shabuot, or the Feast of the Shabuas, Shabuot, Feast of Weeks, Harvest. Then we also have the Yom Teruah in HaTorah, is referred to as the Day of Trumpets, corresponding to Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. Now, ones will say, well, there was already New Year's. Yeah, well, by this time, we're at the 7th month. And HaTorah states this as being the end of the year, right? So we have what we call the Hebrew, for lack of a better word, but speaking English here, the ecclesiastical, or the sense of the churchical, the gathering, that coming together, speaking about not just the building, but the people gathering together at that appointed place. So we have the Yom Teruah, right, in the 7th month, corresponding to the signaling to the end of the holy aspect of the year. When we said the holy aspect of the year, was speaking about the 7 feasts and 7 festivals occur over 7 months within 3 particular seasons, right? And 3 times in the year within these 7 months. So we have the Yom Teruah, Yom HaKippurim, the Day of the Atonements, and Sukkot, or Tabernacles, the Feast of Ingathering, at the end of the year. So that corresponds with these 7 feasts, beginning here in this month, the month of Abib, also referred to as Nisan, roughly the March, April, the springtime, right here. So the maftir for day 2 is the passages from Numbers chapter 28, verses 16 to 25, that explains the instructions, the Torot, the Torot, the instructions of Pesach, of Passover. Then the Haftarah for the second day, here at the second day on this podcast, right here. Shalom, Chabarim, Shalom, Chag Sameach, Chag, feast, Sameach, a happy, happy feast here for the Chag HaMatzot. Getting into the unleavened bread days right here. But the Passover, second day reading from the Haftarah, the prophet's reading, Second Kings, chapter 23, focus verses 1 to 9, focus verses 21 to 25. It regards the great Pesach, the great Passover that was celebrated after the good king Josiah. Josiah initiated Reformation. King Josiah, a good king, right? He initiated Reformation among the apostate Judahites, right? Or the tribe of Yehuda, among high Yehudim. So this brings us right here to day two, the day two readings and feedings here. Today's daily psalm, interesting here in the season, is Psalm 118. As ones might recall, if one's got to get that here, that we had Psalm 118, the significance of Psalm 118 in the last Torah reading and feeding in this season, that is known as Mitzorah. Mitzorah, commonly called the leper or the one skin disease. And it was those verses from Psalm 118, verses 25 to 26. Now, once again, just the connection is the Shabbat before we have Pesach is known as Shabbat HaGadol. Shabbat HaGadol. And this foreshadows the offering of Adonenu, Yeshua, as the Seh Ha-Elohim, the Lamb of God, the Lamb of the true God, who takes away or lifts up. Remember the Noseh? We touched on that from the Hebrew of the Brit Hadasha, New Testament, takes away the sense of lifting up, because sin is considered from a Hebrew perspective to be a burden. So he is Ha-Noseh, the Noseh, the one who's Nasa lifts up, right? The sin nature of the world. The Brit Hadasha, it notes that it was about the time of Abib 10th. In other words, in this Hebrew month season right here, also called Nisan 10, when Ha'adon Yeshua made his triumphant entry into Jerusalem, riding on a donkey, signifying his messiahship in fulfillment of the prophecy of Zechariah. In Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, it reads, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion, daughter of Zion, shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, your king is coming to you, righteous and having salvation is he, humble and mounted on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9. So it's during that particular time and this time of the year, even then, in the first century time of Ha'adon, Yeshua HaNotzri, Jesus of Nazareth, Jesus Christ, that when pilgrims, Yehudi, Judaic, Israelites, scattered Israelites, but we have to signify what happened to the 10 tribes, and also, mainly we're speaking of the tribe of Yehuda and the tribe of Judah at this particular time, although they all, right, are Israelites. So the Israelites at home and abroad, right, as pilgrims, right, would come forward to keep the feast, as Torah says, 3 times in the year shall all the males of Yisrael appear in the place that Yahweh Eloheinu Aina Elohim sets his name, where he sets the Hashem. So it's during this time when the pilgrims had come to select Haseh, the lamb, for the Pesach Korban, Passover offering, the Passover sacrifice. They saw Ha'adon Yeshua, and they cried out, Hoshi'ah, 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 meaning please save, or save now. Hoshi'ah, save, rescue, deliver, in a sense also give victory. Hoshi'ah, Nah, please now, Hoshiana. What we get to know, in the English, this phrase being translated from the Latin, not directly from the Hebrew, comes down to Hosanna. So the Latin actually came up more directly, from the Hebrew sense, but we have the English that actually comes more from the Latin. But getting to the roots, to the Hebrew, Hoshia, Hoshia, na. The people, they spontaneously began singing, because it's almost like a cue. If you know the Psalms, familiar with the Psalms, as those even the first century time of Yeshua, Robbeinu Yeshua, familiar with the Psalms, when someone like today, if somebody say a particular verse or word in a song, it kind of triggers, you know what I mean? Maybe trigger, it stimulates, it inspires a response. And that response that the people spontaneously began to sing is actually today's daily psalm right here on the second day of Pesach, according to the royal order of the Ethiopian Hebrews. After the order of Malachias Edek, Melchizedek, we have Psalm 118. Very same psalm, right, that about 4 days or so, 3 to 4 days before Pesach, when Adonenu Yeshua, our boss, Master Sovereign Yeshua, when he made his triumphant entry into Jerusalem, riding on a donkey, automatically signifying that Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, prophetic word. The people's response was Psalm 118, verses 25 to 26, in anticipation of the fulfillment, because this verse here is a fulfillment of the great messianic hope. And what's these verses right here? Please, Yahweh, Jehovah, save I and I. Please, Yahweh, prosper us, prosper I and I. Blessed is he, blessed be he who comes in the name of Yahweh. We bless y'all from the house of Yahweh. Here, Ana Yahweh, Hoshiana, Ana Yahweh, Hatzlicha na, Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh, Barak nukem mi beit Yahweh. So we have this right here, today's daily psalm, just a particular interest here because it's significant as one of the praise psalms in this particular praise verse right here, fulfilled with Yeshua HaMoshiach. So we get this connection, right here from the Shabbat HaGadol, and here at the second day of Pesach, second day of Passover. So right here, harvest time, a theme on harvest time. Don Carlos right here with harvest time. Yes, I, Rastafari. That shed innocent blood of your people. Whoa, oh yeah. Whoa, Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Woe be unto those that say they of Israel, and they are not. Woe be unto those that say they're Jews, and they are not. Cause they shall be cast away like the chaff that the wind driven away. I say, oh yeah, oh well, Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yes, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa. Get to the black and white oppressors who have oppressed the children innocently. Oh yes, I
Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, 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 well, whoa, whoa. Woe be unto those that say they of Israel, and they are not. Woe be unto those that say they're Jews, and they are not. God shall have them in his region. They'll have their season, and they shall be cast away, I say, just like the chaff that the wind drift away. Oh yeah, oh oh oh, oh well, oh yes. Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, 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 whoa. Jah shall clean out the bad weeds, yeah, and separate them from the good, cause the day of harvest is near. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Day of harvest, the day of harvest. Day of harvest is near. So here, the Abib, the month of Abib, springtime, Abib, the link there, Afro-Shemitically with Abebe, as in Adis, Abeba. Abeba is flower, Abebe is the flower, and the month here is Abib, signifying the barley crop, which grows very fast in them regions, as that first, you say, crop that is growing up, and then the wheat comes like after that, and the bringing forward of the first fruits also connected with Pesach, the overview of Pesach. But here we're at day two. So here let's just touch on some first ear of the reading for day 2, the Leviticus reading that gives us the overview of the Shabbat, the Sabbath, and the Moedim. So the Sabbath actually is a continual, we say, holy day or holiday throughout. The Sabbath is that continual holiday and holy day throughout. And as when we read it and we study it, we can see the connection, because even within the feasts and the festivals, there are Sabbaths, right? But these are the Sabbaths of the feasts and the festivals, but also the first of the feast and the festival, of course, is the Shabbat day. So here, Shem Ha'ab Ha'abein Rahag Adosh Ahwa Ahad, and Father, Son, Holy Spirit, He who be, the one. Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hashem, Holy One, blessed be He, blessed be the name. Here. Let's give ear, day 2 reading, Leviticus. Once again, let's give the overview right here for ones who are reading along. We have Leviticus. We go to Leviticus chapter 23, chapter 22 first, 22, right? Beginning of verse 26 to chapter 23, verse 44. Shema'ah Yisrael. Hear this.
Chapter 22. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, When a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and from the 8th day and thenceforth it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And whether it be cow or ewe, ye shall not kill it and her young both in 1 day. And when ye will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto the Lord, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am the Lord. Therefore shall ye keep my commandments and do them. I am the Lord. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Israel. I am the Lord, which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Egypt, to be your God. I am the Lord.
All right, and then we move forward right here to chapter 23, the feast, the Moeday Yahweh, the feast of Jehovah, the Shabbat, HaShabbat, and the Moedim.
Chapter 23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the 1st month at even is the Lord's Passover. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the 1st day ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. In the 7th day is an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the firstfruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf an he-lamb without blemish of the 1st year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savour. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the firstfruits unto the Lord. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the 1st year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto the Lord, with their meat offering and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savour unto the Lord. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the 1st year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the firstfruits for a wave offering before the Lord, with the 2 lambs. They shall be holy to the Lord for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be an holy convocation unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your God. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Also on the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before the Lord your God. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even, shall ye celebrate your Sabbath. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord. On the 1st day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering, and a meat offering, a sacrifice, and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings which ye give unto the Lord. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the 1st day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the 1st day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feasts of the Lord.
John Light Records, man, the Passover rhythm. Blessed love, brethren.
Yes, King, yes, good to be here again. Really.
Once again, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Other than to be on the wood, I want to greet you all in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, first and foremost, alright? Blackstone, one of our concerns.
Blessed love, man. Now tell me, I mean, John Light Records, they don't run when it comes to the production.
Nah, okay.
Tell me about this Passover rhythm, because it's wicked. It's wicked.
Give thanks, King. Well, a lot of work was placed in the Passover rhythm is a year we took to actually put this from production stage straight to the final product. You know what I mean?
Right.
The word Passover, well, what we try to do is take the people back into our biblical account of the days of Moses and Pharaoh, and with a mighty and strong hand, God rescued his people, the Israelites, from the hands of the Egyptians. Alright, so on that night, that fateful night, as God was going to do this, his last plague, the 10th plague, what he did is tell the Israelites to put the blood of the lamb upon the doorstep. So when the angel of death pass over, when the angel of death come, it will pass over them, and it will slew the firstborn in Egypt and rescue the people. Alright, so what we try to do is bring back this message to the people and let them know that we praise a mighty and powerful God, which is Jehovah. Alright, and in the New Testament, God has brought forth Christ as the new Passover. Alright, so those who have accepted Christ as the Lord and Savior has his blood upon the doorsteps of their hearts. So when Jah judgment comes, Jah wrath comes, Jah will pass over them and slew those that haven't accepted God. So that is what the Passover is about.
It's a spiritual rhythm.
Spiritual rhythm. It's all about messages to edify the people.
So you see. So I see you have, how many tracks you have on this rhythm? 12?
Well, we have 10 tracks on this rhythm here. And the 11th track is a version.
Right.
Yes.
And each track, I mean, has a message.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. All the tracks have a powerful message.
Firekin, Zebulon, King Solomon,
Danger Mental, Queen Omega, Just Silver, Matty Greenwich, Rincha, Revelation, Wildlife, Rastlet, Roxy Sing.
That's what we listen in the background, Rastlet, Revolution.
Right. And the two artists, we have two Jamaican artists on this project.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. Right. Do you have any international artists on this rhythm?
Yeah, man. Well, we have Firekin and we have Wildlife. That's the first and 8th track on the rhythm.
And do you intend to put any more artists on this rhythm?
One artist from Jamaica heard the rhythm over Facebook when I tagged him with one of the videos, and he told me right away, send the rhythm, he's ready to voice. Alright, so it's like that. Right now, people crazy over the Passover, they're loving it.
Now this is local production?
Local production, man.
Oh my God.
King. Yeah, man, local. Just keep trying to step it up every time. You know, the Jah Light Records crew, myself, Sheldon, Jackson, and Kendall always are hard at work, trying to do the work at the most time. In the form of music and otherwise. That's what it's all about.
Adonai.
John Rastafari.
Adonai.
John Rastafari.
Chag Sameach, 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 Sameach. Chag Sameach. The Torah Aliyah for day 2, Leviticus chapter 22. Focus verses 26 to Leviticus 23:44. From the third book of Moshe, the Hebrew book of Leviticus, from the Sefer Vayikra, chapter 22, verse 26. Vaydaber Yahuwah illa Moshe leimor. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe leimor, saying, when a bullock or a sheep or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, its mother. And from the 8th day and thenceforth there forward, it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire to the Yahweh. And whether it be cow or ewe, ye y'all shall not kill it, and her young both in 1 day. And when ye y'all will offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving, of Todah, of Miskana, to the Yahweh, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye y'all shall leave none of it until the morrow. Ani Yahuwah, I be he who he be. Therefore shall y'all keep my commandments and do them. Ani Yahuwah, I be he who he be. Neither shall y'all profane my holy name. Shem Kadeshi, Shem Kadeshi. But I will be hallowed. I will be hallowed, set apart among the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Yisrael. Ani Yahuwah, I be he who he be. Mikad Shikem, Mikad Shikem, who hallow, who set thee apart, that brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. Ani Yahuwah. Third book of Moshe, of Moses, the Hebrew book of Leviticus, the Sefer Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 23, the feast of Jehovah, of Yahuwah, the Sabbath and the feast. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe, saying, Lemor, saying, Daber il bnei Yisrael, ve'amarta elehem, mo'edei Yahuwah asher tikreu otam mikrae kodesh, elehem mo'edai. Speak to the children of Israel and say to them concerning the feast, the appointed seasons of the Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, vacations. Even these are my feasts, my appointed seasons.
6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is Hashabbat, the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation and ivication. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath, Hashabbat of the Yahweh in all your dwellings. The feast of Yahweh, of Jehovah, the appointed seasons of the Yahweh. 1. First, the Passover, Pesach, Moshiach, Messiah, our Redeemer. Verse 4. These are the feast of the Yahweh. Ele Mo'edei Yahweh, Mikrae Kodesh. These are the appointed seasons of the Yahweh, even ivications, which ye all shall proclaim in their seasons. In the 14th day of the first moon month at evening is Yahweh's Pesach, is the Lord's Passover, is he who he be's, Pesach, Fasika. The feast of Yahweh, of Jehovah, the second, unleavened bread, which is a memorial feast. Verse 6. And on the 15th day of the same month, the same moon, is the feast, appointed season of unleavened bread to Yahweh, to he who he be. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have a ivication. Ye, y'all, shall do no servile work therein, but ye, y'all, shall offer an offering made by fire to the Yahweh. 7 days. In the 7th day is an ivication. Ye, y'all, shall do no servile work therein. The feasts, the appointed times of Yahweh, of Jehovah. The third, first fruits, Moshiach, arisen. Verse 9. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe Lemor, saying, Speak to the Bnei Yisrael, the sons, the children of Israel, and say to them, When ye, y'all, be come into the land which I give to you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye, y'all, shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits, bikurim, of your harvest, to HaKohen, to the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf lifnei Yahweh, to be accepted for you on the morrow after Hashabbat, the Sabbath. HaKohen, the priest, shall wave it. And ye, y'all, shall offer that day when ye wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a olah, burnt offering, holocaust offering to the Yahweh, and a minka, a meal offering thereof, shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire to the Yahweh for a sweet savor. And the nesek, the drink offering thereof, shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. And ye, y'all, shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye, y'all, have brought an offering to your Elohim, Elohim. It shall be a statute, chukim, chukah, a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. The feast of Yahweh, the feast of Jehovah. The 4th, the wave loaves, the church at Pentecost, Shavuot, 50 days after the resurrection of Moshiach, of the Messiah. Verse 15. And ye shall count to you from the morrow after Hashabbat, the Sabbath, from the day that ye, y'all, brought the sheaf of the wave offering. 7 Shabbats shall be complete. 2 sevens. Even to the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye, y'all, shall offer a new mincha, meal offering to the Yahweh. Ye, y'all, shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2 tenth deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits to the Yahweh. And ye, y'all, shall offer with the bread 7 lambs without blemish of the first year, and 1 young bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a olah, burnt offering to the Yahweh, with their mincha, meal offering, and their nesek, drink offerings, even an offering made by fire, of sweet savor to the Yahweh. Then ye, y'all, shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a chatat, sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of shalamim, peace offerings. And HaKohen, the priest, shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering, lifnei Yahuwah. With the 2 lambs, they shall be wholly set apart to the Yahweh for HaKohen, for the priest. And ye, y'all shall proclaim on the selfsame day, that it may be an holy avocation, an Isla avocation to you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute, chukah, forever in all your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye, y'all, reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleanings of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them to the poor and to the stranger. Ani Yahuwah Elohim, I be he who be, your Elohim. The feast of Yahuwah, 5th, trumpets, Yom Teruah, Rosh Hashanah, New Year. Yom Teruah, trumpets, prophetic of the future regathering of Yisrael. Verse 23. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe, Lemor, saying, speak to the Bnai Yisrael, the sons of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, the 7th moon, in the first day of the moon, the month, shall ye, y'all, have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and Isla Ivocation. Ye, y'all, shall do no servile work therein, but ye, y'all, shall offer an offering made by fire to the Yahweh. The feast of Yahuwah, 6th, the day of atonements, Yom HaKippurim, verse 26. And Egazia, the Her, the sustainer, the good father, Yahuwah, he who be, spake to Moshe, Lemor, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th moon, 7th month, there shall be a day of atonement at 1 man's martav. It shall be an Isla avocation to you, and ye, y'all, shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire to the Yahweh. And ye, y'all, shall do no work in that same day. It is a day of atonement, to make an atonement to you, Lifnei Yahweh Elohim, for whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among Amo, his people, Hizbu. And whatsoever soul it be that doeth any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among Amo, his people, Hizbu. Ye, y'all, shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute, hukah, hok, forever, forever, throughout your generations in all your dwellings. It shall be to you a Shabbat of rest, and ye, y'all, shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the moon, the month, at evening. From even to even, from evening to evening, shall ye, y'all, celebrate, your Shabbat. And the Yahweh spake to Moshe, Lemor, saying, speak to the B'nai Yisrael, Lemor, saying, the 15th day of this 7th moon, 7th month, shall be the Feast of Tabernacles, Chag HaSukkot, for 7 days to the Yahweh. On the first day shall be an Ilai vacation. Y'all shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye, y'all shall offer an offering made ba'esh to the Yahweh. And on the 8th day shall be an Ilai vacation to you. And ye, y'all, shall offer an offering made ba'esh, by fire, to the Yahweh. It is a solemn assembly, and ye, y'all, shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts, the appointed seasons of the Yahweh, which ye, y'all, shall proclaim to be Ilai vacations, to offer an offering made ba'esh, be'isat, by fire, to the Yahweh, a burnt offering, olah, and a mincha, meal offering, a sacrifice, and a drink offering, everything upon his day. Beside the Sabbaths of the Yahweh, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which y'all give to the Yahweh. Feast of Yahweh, the 7th feast of Jehovah. Tabernacles, Sukkot, Ha-Sukkot, verse 39. Also, in the 15th day of the 7th month, the 7th moon, when ye, y'all, have gathered in the fruit of the land, y'all shall keep a feast to the Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Shabbat, and on the 8th day shall be a Shabbat. And ye, y'all, shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows, poplars of the brook, and ye, y'all, shall rejoice, Lifnei Yahweh Elohim, before he who be your Elohim, 7 days. And ye, y'all, shall keep it a feast, an appointed time, appointed season, a feast to the Yahweh 7 days in the Shana, in the year. It shall be a hukah forever in your generations. Ye, y'all, shall celebrate, I liberated, in the 7th moon, in the 7th month. Ye, y'all, shall dwell in booths, in sukkahs, sukkot, booths, huts, tabernacles, and booths 7 days. all that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths, that your generations may know that I made the B'nai Yisrael, the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, to dwell in booths, when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the land of Egypt. Ani Yahuwah Elohim, I be he who be, your Elohim. And Moshe declared to the B'nai Yisrael, the sons, the children of Israel, the feast of the Yahweh.
Yes, yes, yes. The reading for the second day, the Maftir.
Glory to the word, glory to the sound, glory to the power. Lenugusana, Lekadamawi, Haile Selassie, Beshem Yeshua, HaMoshiach. Amen.
Yes, yes, yes. The Maftir. That way the Torah reading here, and now the Maftir reading for day 1 and here for day 2.
And in the 14th day of the first month, and in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of the Lord. And in the 15th day of this month is the feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. In the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein. But ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord. 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, and 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deal shall ye offer for a bullock, and 2/10 deals for a ram. A several tenth deal shalt thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs. And 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. Ye shall offer these beside the burnt offering in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. It shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And on the 7th day ye shall have an holy convocation. He shall do no servile work, 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 no servile work.
So that right there points to the Shabbat of the Passover, the first, and here in the diaspora, first and second days are mainly the first, and the last days are like Shabbat days, the Shabbat and the feast and the festival. Torah readings right there. Haftarah coming forward here. Queen Omega, Passover rhythm.
Childlike records. Whoa, yeah. I praise the God of Abraham. I praise the God of Isaac, Jacob, Shadrach, Abednego, and Meshach. When I remember Daniel in the den, Emmanuel was with them, no weapons could not form against them. And Moses, a Hebrew hero, with the powers of Jah, stood against Pharaoh and freed the children out of bondage to a land where honey flow. It was a pilgrimage, a journey some 1,000 miles to go. My God is not a God to lie. He's solid as a rock, so you can't push over. Anytime you reach a river Jordan, me not turn me back, me have to cross over. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. No plague, no pestilence. Them have to pass over. Pass over. Them have to pass over. Let's talk about David, the youngest of Jesse's son. This little shepherd boy was the anointed one who established at the throne and the Father's kingdom. The scepter shall not depart from Judah till Shiloh come. And King Solomon, a very wise man, he was blessed with knowledge and what heap of wisdom. So me hail his majesty, who wear the triple crown with the powers of Emmanuel. I chant them down. My God is not a God to lie. He's solid as a rock, so you can't push over. Anytime you reach a river Jordan, me not
to cross over. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. No plague, no pestilence, they have to pass over. They have to pass over. So wonderful is my God, so powerful is his name. He is strong to deliver and he's mighty to save. Above him there's no other, he's worthy to be praised. The omnipotent, the ancient of days. He's no lamb to no slaughter, he's the lion with the mane. The rock of Gibraltar, he's forever the same. The greatest Messiah, King of all kings. With him nothing is impossible, he can do all things. My God is not a God to lie, he's solid as a rock so you can't push over. Anytime me reach a river Jordan, now turn me back, me have to cross over. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. No plague, no pestilence, them have to pass over. Them have to pass over. And Queen Esther, a beloved daughter, in the eyes of the king she found sweet favor. To her people the truth, she was a great deliverer, and she did it with the help of the Lion of Judah, the earth's rightful ruler. He is the conqueror, he is Jesus Christ in kingly character. This is the truth, this is a real factor. And me fun Babylon, them fake and them actor. My God is not a God to lie, he's solid as a rock so you can't push over. Anytime me reach a river Jordan, me not turn me back, me have to cross over. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. No plague, no pestilence, me have to pass over. Move away, Babylon, me want pass, cause my God is not a God, tell la la la, he's solid as a rock so you can't push over. Anytime me reach a river Jordan, me not turn me back, me have to pass over. No weapons formed against me shall prosper. No plague, no pestilence, no plague, no pestilence. I am sealed with the blood of the Most High. I praise the living God. He's a mighty God, dreadful and terrible God. Earthquake, lightning and thunder God. He's a God of many names. God Jah, Rastafari, Ababa Janai, the Most High. Emperor Ilisa, that's the eye. He's Jehovah God. El Shaddai, give Jah some praises. My God is not a God, la 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 la. Light, ever shining, Celestia.
Chag HaPesach, Chag HaPesach, the feast of Passover. Chag HaPesach, Sameach, Sameach, happy, happy, happy feast of Pesach. Also the Chag HaMatzot, the feast of the unleavened bread, and of course that which signifies the revelation of the resurrection. We have Bikurim. Got to touch on these subject matters here. All they contained in the first of the 3 times, right? 3 times in the year, mainly in these 7 moons, in these 7 months. So here we have Pesach, Chag HaPesach. There we had Queen Omega with the Passover and the Passover rhythm right there. And moving forward into the Chag HaMatzot, the feast of the unleavened breads, the matzah, plural matzot. And then we have Bikurim, first fruits.
But passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart. One of the Hebrew tribes struck south from Egypt and settled in Ethiopia. But passed over their houses. Destruction to the Egyptians. But passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart. One of the Hebrew tribes struck south from Egypt and settled in Ethiopia. Chanting in Hebrew, the youngest schoolboy asks, "Why is this night different from all others?" Falasha understand the language of the Old Testament. The story of Passover is known to them all. On this night,
the flight to freedom began. Away from Pharaoh's Egypt, away from the angel of death that brought destruction to the Egyptians, but passed over their houses. So quickly did the Jews depart, they were forced to bake their bread unleavened. To celebrate their escape, unleavened bread is eaten by Jews everywhere on Passover Eve, 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 on Passover Eve.
So it begins with the Erev Pesach, the Erev, the eve of Pesach, that eve right there, and then moving forward into the first day, here at the second day, and the reading from Leviticus 22-26, straight through Leviticus 23 to the end of the chapter, verse 44. The main area we need to zoom in on, and the main theme is the Shabbat. Right, how the Shabbat is a annual throughout the year. It's a holy day, that 1 in 7, right? The seventh day, the Shabbat day, and how we have the breakdown and build right here, the feast of Yahweh, the Shabbat, and the feasts or the festivals, the Moed in the singular sense, an appointment, appointed place, space, time, appointments, feasts, keeping these appointments 3 times in the year, shall all the males of Yisrael appear in the place that Yahweh sets his name. So here, when we get to Leviticus 23, we should focus on right here. The Medi is basically from verse 1, of course, but the verse 1 to 3 is the feast of Yahweh with the Shabbat and the Moedim, the appointments marked. Where it says, and Yahweh spake to Moshe, saying, speak to the Bnei Yisrael, the sons of Israel, and say to them concerning the Moedei Yahweh, the feast of Jehovah, that y'all shall proclaim. So the key thing is the proclamation, proclaiming, right? Proclaim that y'all shall do what? Proclaim to be Mikrai Kodesh, Mikrai called out, set apart, out callings, the sense of Mikrai Kodesh, holy, set apart, out callings, holy convocations. Even these are Moedai. He says Moedai are my feasts, my appointments. We get to verse 3, it says 6 days shall work be done, but in the 7th day is the Shabbat, HaShabbat of rest, Menucha, of that rest. Note what it says, a Mikrai Kodesh, Mikrai, outcalling, Kodesh, set apart, a holy convocation, says y'all shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath, the Shabbat, the rest, that ceasing and desisting from the other 6 days of occupational labor, right? It is the Shabbat of Yahweh in all your dwellings. Now, main focus area right here for the Pesach, Passover time, this particular season is at the beginning of the year, the Hebrew, the holy year, in the month of Abib, roughly around the March, April time, Gregorian wise, but the spring time. So we firstly have the feast of Yahweh, of Jehovah. The first item is Ha-Pesach, the Pesach, the Passover, Moshiach, Messiah, our Redeemer. Now there's verses like 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. Let's see if we can just bring this up right here before we go forward. You know, we're here in the day 2, right? Focusing on day 2 since it's the reading right there. Come, let me study to shew yourself approved. So we have 1 Corinthians 5 and 7 and 1 Peter here, 1 and 19. And we're referring here to Schofield Study Bible, some very good notes, footnotes. We want to zoom in right here on the podcast right here. And in this sharing right here on the feast, the Moedei Yahweh, Moedei, it's a constructive sense. So it's like the feast of Moedei, right? But to say feast by themselves, Moedim. So we have the Moedim of Jehovah, the Moedei Yahweh, as given to Yisrael, Israel. These here, the footnote says, these were simply 7 great they have religious, let's say, really just, really righteous Mo'edim, festivals, feasts that were to be observed every year, every Shana. The first 3 verses of Leviticus 23 do not relate to the Mo'edim. They don't relate to the Mo'edim directly. What it sets up right here in the first 3 verses of Leviticus chapter 23 is the Shabbat. Mainly, it's the Shabbat, how the Shabbat, as it has been said by the sages of bygone ages, the Shabbat is like the first of all the feasts, of all the Mo'edim, of all the Chagim, you know, the Chagot, you know, the feast festivals. It's the first of all of them. And it's the regular one, that regular one. So even in season, now we're in season with the 7 feasts, 7 festivals, 3 times in these 7 months, you know, which is called, according to HaTorah, the year. When we get to Sukkot, it says at the end of the year, right? At the end of the year. So there's an agricultural aspect to this as well that needs to be duly noted. But the first 3 verses of Leviticus 23 do not relate to the Mo'edim, the feast, but they separate, so to speak, here in the giving of HaTorah, in the giving of the instruction, the Torah, right? It separates HaShabbat, right, from the feast, the festivals. But to understand the feast, the festivals, we also must understand the Shabbat, because within the feast of festivals, there are their own Shabbats, their own rest time, their own times of gathering together and ceasing for that day, occupational labor otherwise. And this is, of course, to the Bnei Yisrael, but here we get like the shadow, and then we can then see the fulfillment even in Moshiach and through Moshiach, Yeshua. But first things first, here we're in verse 4 of Leviticus chapter 23, where it says the Passover, Christ, Messiah, our Redeemer. So here, let's just get also 1 Peter 1:19. But first things first, let's go to 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7, purge out therefore the old leaven, that ye, y'all, you all, may be a new lump, as ye, you all, y'all, are unleavened. For even Christ, Messiah, Moshiach, our Passover, is sacrifice for us. So here, Corinthians, right, chapter 5, at verse 7. So here we have Ba'eru et ha-seora ha-yashan. In other words, purge out therefore the old leaven. Ba'eru, instant ba'ar. Ba'ar also can mean to burn. Actually has a sense of burning out. You know, actually in the Hebrew, ba'ar. Here it says ba'eru, right? Ba'eru as a kind of like a command, an imperative, a command to you all. Ba'eru. But it's from ba'ar, the root sense, which kind of means to bun, right? Like bun it out, purge it out. Ba'eru et ha-seor. Et ha-seor, the seor, here for leaven, the seor, ha-seor, the leaven, hayashan, the leaven, the old leaven. Ba'eru et ha-seor hayashan lima'an, so that, or lima'an has a sense of so that, or for the reason, because of that, ye may be a new lump. Li ma'an tihiyu, all y'all to be. Li ma'an, so that, li ma'an tihiyu, isa lump chadasha, be a lump chadasha, renewed or new, chadasha. Interesting, we speak about the chodesh and the brit chadasha, renewed or new in a sense, but it has a sense of new in the sense of renewed. Lima'an tihiyu isa chadasha. Then it says, as y'all are unleavened, that y'all may be a new lump, a isa chadasha. Hello lachem matzotatem. Hello, is it not? Hello. Lo means no. Definite article ha, the no. It has a sense of like, is it not? Hello, hello, yeah, hello, hello, hello. Is it not lechem, bread, matzot, bread, matzot, right? Is it not bread that is matzot? Atem, atem, you all, y'all, aren't y'all not, unleavened bread, lachem, matzot, hello, lachem, matzot, atem, aren't y'all not unleavened bread or bread that is matzot? For even Moshiach, Christ, Messiah, the anointed, our Passover is sacrifice for us. Ki, gam lanu, ki for, gam also lanu for us. Ki, gam lanu for also of us or ours, for also lanu for us. Interesting sense that also for us. Ki gam lanu pisachenu, 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 our Pesach, our Pesach, our Passover. Pisachenu, 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 our Passover. Ha nizbach, ha nizbach, ha nizbach. Sacrifice was already like sacrifice, like it has a past tense sense of like that which has already been sacrificed. Ha nizbach, ha nizbach, ha nizbach. Ki gam lanu pisachenu ha nizbach ba edenu, on our behalf, on our behalf, ba edenu, ba edenu, our behalf. Who is the pronoun in Hebrew for he? Who? Ha Mashiach. Who? He. Ha Mashiach. He is the Messiah. This is just going through the Hebrew order of words right here. For even Christ, Messiah, our Passover is sacrifice, has been sacrificed, right, for us. Ki gam lanu pisachenu ha nizbach ba'edenu hu Mashiach. So right here, and then the next verse is interesting too, because it says, therefore let us keep the feast, not with old leaven. Because the old leaven, it says to purge out, or Hebraically, ba'eru, from ba'ar, like to bun it out, right? Not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness and ratchetness, but with the unleavened of sincerity and truth. The unleavened. So here, just in zooming in on this aspect here, since getting a better understanding of what is Passover and what is related to Passover because of and written in Ha Torah. And then hopefully as we build, seeing Moshiach, seeing Messiah, seeing that fulfillment of Messiah, as those before I, the Nazarene, the Christianoid before I, it said that Moshiach fulfilled, right, the Old Testament type, especially pertaining to the sacrifices and the sacrifices for sin. But here we have First Peter 1:19. Let's go to First Peter 1:19 right here. And it says here, First Peter, Petro 1:19, but with the precious blood of Mashiach, Messiah, as likened to as of a lamb without blemish and without spot. This is the connection here in the Brit Chadasha to the Passover, Ha Pesach, being Messiah, our Redeemer. Here, the Hebrew ki, im, bedam yakar, shel se, tamim, mum, ein bo, bedam ha-Mashiach. Ki, for. So you see the King James has like but, even sometime in the Hebrew, it's like, something in the Hebrew is and, here it's like for, like because, for, im, right? If, by way of, but with, interesting, but with, here the im is different than aim. Aim is with, Im is like a kind of an if sense. It's interesting here because the same sense is found in the book of the priest, the handbook of the priest, the book of sacrifices, Leviticus. If a man would do it this way, then this is the way it is. So ki im bedam. If by way of blood, yakar, precious, yakar, shell of seh, of the lamb, tamim, the lamb without blemish, perfect lamb, nothing more to the lamb, nothing less to the lamb. This is the sense of being without blemish, the sense of being without blemish, tamim, also elsewhere, like being perfect. And the sense is like if Eloheinu created an animal like this, it should not have more than that or less than that. That is the sense of being complete, tamim. So here, once again, ki im bedam, for if by way of blood, yakar, precious, shell of seh, of lamb, tamim, of a lamb that is without blemish, umum, and spot, mum is like a spot, mum, ain, bow, not in him, and mum, and a spot, ain, not bow, not in him, bedam, in the blood, ha Mashiach, in the blood of Messiah. So that's the connection here with the feast of Yahweh at the Passover. And here's what it reads, 4 and 5. It says, these are the feasts Mo'edei Yahweh, feasts of Jehovah, even holy convocation, Ila vacation, Mikra Kodesh, that y'all shall proclaim in their seasons. Right? There are seasons, 7 festivals, right? 3 times or 3 seasons. So here we're at the first season, verse 5. In the 14th day of the first month, the first moon, here Abib, at even. At even is Yahweh Pesach, is Jehovah's Passover. So this brings us here to note the Passover in Leviticus chapter 23 is really a good, perfect chapter to study and get a good, core understanding of the feast, the festivals that are mentioned elsewhere in HaTorah and throughout the scripture. But this chapter here is very, very important for study. And at the second day of Pesach, it is the chapter that is read, that is heard, and hopefully, reasoned and studied on to get a better understanding, to study to show ourselves approved. Passover, verses 4 and 5. So this feast, this moed, this appointment is memorial, for memory, memorial, like remembrance, a memorial, zikaron, right? And brings into view redemption. The geula, the redemption, brings into view redemption. Upon that all blessings rest. In other words, all blessing, all baraka, barakot, they rest, right, upon redemption. And therefore, Pesach is the moed, is the appointment, is the feast, the appointment at that time, that space, in heart and mind as a memorial, and it brings into view the redemption. So all the barakot, the blessings, are based on the prerequisite of redemption. Typically, it stands for Christ, Messiah, our Passover. This here brings us once again to where we were in chapter 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, at verse 7. Ki gam lanu pisachenu ha nizbach ba'edenu hu Mashiach. That Christ, Moshiach, Pisachenu, our Passover, sacrifice for us. 1 Corinthians 5 and 7. But now, there we have Passover. Technically, that right there is Passover. But this whole feast is often referred to as Passover because as we read in the 14th of the first month, at what? At even. Right? And even the sense of between the evenings, we touched on that as well. Between the evenings, at even is Yahweh's Pesach. Now, not to get into this right here, but it's also the counting of time. For example, okay, this day, say if this day is the 14th, just for example, if this day is the 14th, right, man, what is the day? Is it 24 hours? Nah, that's the world. That's the change of times and laws. What is the day? What does Yeshua say? Yeshua says, "Know ye not, there are 12 hours in a day." So if there's 12 hours in a day, the day is a day lit time, times when we can say the luminary known as the sun is lit. This is the day, right? But in the Hebrew sense, the evening precedes. In other words, the evening, what says evening and morning is one day. So in the Hebrew perspective to time telling, this is where a lot of confusion and the whole Good Friday, a lot of that comes from a confusion in time telling and an understanding context. Because if this is the day that's the 14th, by the time we get to the evening, that is the evening of the 15th. In other words, so if today is the 14th, the evening already was before. The previous evening is the evening for this 14th right here. It's not the way the world, sees it. So that's interesting. That's why we emphasize the whole between the evenings, because the Hebrew brings out that sense. But it says in the 14th. And if you notice in the KJV Bibles, if anyone's looking at Leviticus, or when they look at Leviticus 23, verse 5 in the King James Version, notice that the word day is italicized. If you go and look at the Hebrew of that, you won't find the majority of places that are italicized in the King James Version is not there in the Hebrew, and even in many of the places in the Koine Greek, that they refer to for the New Testament. So the more forces in the 14th of the first month at the evening time. In other words, the evening time is when the sunlight is going down. That's the evening time. We often think of that in the West, oh, it's like the end of the day. But the Hebraic sense is that is actually the eve is connected with the next morning and the next day. The feast of Yahweh, moving forward right here, just to get through these first three feasts. So there are three feasts. There are three, we can say, three appointments that's connected here with the first season, the first of the 3 times in the year. So we have Passover, we have Pesach, we have Chag HaMatzot, the unleavened bread, Feast of HaMatzot, and then we have Bikurim. We have the first fruits, right? Bikurim, right? So here we have unleavened bread, the unleavened bread, or the Matzot. It's a memorial feast. Now there's some scriptures to follow up on. There's 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 23 to 26. There is 1 Corinthians chapter 5, right, verses 6 to 8. There's 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. And there's Galatians chapter 5, verses 7 to 9. Let's look at the time right here. Let's go through this, because this is important right here. Because we can just say, well, it's over there in that verse, and people are like, yeah, whenever you get to it. But for Talmudim or disciples, anyone who seeks to be that disciple, got to take that time, to check it out, got to take that time to look into it. So here, is this the verse right here? Let's see if we get this. We're going to use another Bible here just to pull up these verses right here. 1 Corinthians, it's the I there. That must be the 2, since he used the Roman numbers there. Okay, chapter 2, 1 Corinthians chapter 2, right, verses 23 to 26. 23 to 26. Oh, slicha. I'm in 2 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 right here. Because we want to know what it says. And then when we read it, does it make sense? Right? These notes. Some of the notes are very good. Many of the notes are very good, but occasionally, maybe someone else can help I with those notes right there. But occasionally you come across something that doesn't line up, right? So you can put that on the side. But what lines up, hopefully, it helps you to grow in grace and the knowledge. So here we have chapter 2, verses 20. Okay, what's going on here? Give me one moment right here. Is that actually 11? Pray to I. That probably is 11. Some of the Roman numbers, even some of us who get used to them a little bit, it becomes a little bit. Okay, let's see if this is it right here. All right, somebody probably read through it, right? So here we have this actually First Corinthians chapter 11. My bad. Slicha li givai. Chapter 11. Sunnah. Chapter 11, verse 23 says, For I have received, right? For I have received of the Lord, mean ha-adon, I received of ha-adon, the Lord, that which also I delivered to you, that ha-adon Yeshua, the Lord, Master, Boss, Yeshua, the same night, the night in that he was betrayed, took bread. And when he had given thanks, he brake and said, Take, eat, this is my body, that is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also he took the cup, the chalice, when he had supped, saying, This cup or chalice is the New Testament, the Brit Chadasha, New Covenant. Let's get to right here. Ha Barit Ha Chadash, a new covenant, right? In my blood. This do ye, y'all, as oft as y'all drink in remembrance of me. Verse 26. That verse 26 right there. Let's just check this out. Here we go. For as often as y'all eat this bread and drink this cup, this chalice, y'all do shew Ha-Adon's death till he come. Right there. So that part there connecting the Brit Hadasha sense of the unleavened bread that we have in these verses in Leviticus 23, verses 6 to 8. Next reading right here, what says 5. Is this 5, 6 to 8? Let's go to verse 5, 6 to 8. Hopefully we get this quote a little quicker. 5, 6 to 8. Okay, so we're in chapter 5, 6 to 8. Here we go. Okay, verse 6, it says, Your glorying is not good. Know ye not, don't you know that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump? And here, connected what we read already earlier with Pesach, purge out therefore the old leaven, burn out the old leaven, that y'all may be a new lump, as y'all are unleavened. Matzot, lachem matzot, atem, for even Moshiach, Pesachenu, our Passover, Pesach, is sacrifice for us. Therefore, let us make I and I keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. Okay, and now we have 2 Corinthians 7 and 1. Let's just quickly go here. 2 Corinthians, right, 7 and 1. 7 and 1 right here. Here we go. 7 and 1, and it reads, okay, 7 and 1. It says, Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us make I and I cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness, set apartness in the fear of God, in the reverence of Elohim. 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. And lastly, but not leastly, Galatians chapter 5, verses 7 to 9. Right? This is pointing to the Brit Hadasha, like links with Leviticus and with the unleavened bread. So we have Galatians chapter 5, verse 7. It says, verse 7 to 9. Y'all did run well. Who did hinder you that y'all should not obey the truth? This persuasion cometh not of him that called y'all. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence. Let's see, that was verse. I'll just do this verse 10. Right? I have confidence in you through Ha-Adon, through the sovereign, that ye y'all will be none otherwise minded, But he that troubleth you, that troubleth y'all, shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be. So here, for the feast of Yahweh, Jehovah the second. So we have Passover, right? And Passover directly links from that evening, directly links with, goes right into the unleavened bread. So here it says, verse 6, Leviticus chapter 23, verse 6, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread. La Yahweh, to Jehovah. 7 days y'all must eat unleavened bread. In the first day, y'all shall have a holy convocation, Mikra Kodesh, a set apart out called assembly. Y'all shall do no servile occupational work, labor therein. Verse 8, but y'all shall offer an offering made by fire, Aish, Itzat, La Yahweh, to Jehovah 7 days. In the seventh day is a Mikra Kodesh, a set apart out called assembly. Y'all shall do no servile work therein. Now, here, these three verses right here, the footer right here, unleavened bread, the Moed, right? The feast of unleavened bread, of the Matzot, verses 6 to 8 of Leviticus 23. This feast, this appointment speaks of communion. So when we might ask, well, what is unleavened bread, this Matzot about? Just eating crackers or bread or something like that? Is that all there is to? No, there's more, right? This feast, this Moed, speaks of communion with Moshiach, speaking of communion with Messiah. The unleavened wave loaf in the full blessing of his redemption and of a holy walk. The divine order here is beautiful. What's the divine order? The Seder, the divine Seder, divine order. First, it's redemption. Then it's a holy walk, a holy trod. First is redemption, and then it's a holy walk, a holy trod. And here, once again, the verses, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verses 6 to 8, 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1, and what we just read, Galatians chapter 5, verses 7 to 9. Now, as you can read, hopefully, and hear read from verse 5, 14th of the first month at even, and the evening time is Yahweh's Pesach. Then in verse 6, and on the 15th day. So we have the evening, right, of the 14th that goes right in, right, to the next day where we begin the feast of unleavened bread, which signifies, right, which speaks to communion, right, communion with Moshiach, communion with Messiah. Now here it brings us to this, the third of the three appointments that is intimately connected with Pesach. So often we refer to Pesach, Passover, the unleavened bread is included, and Pesach, Passover, also first fruits, Moshiach risen, is included. Right? So we have the Moedei Yahweh, Feast of Jehovah, here in Leviticus chapter 23 at verse 9. So here we have 9 to 14. This section here is the first fruits, often referred to as the Bikurim, the first fruits. Remember, the month is Abib. Abib stands for like the barley harvest. Barley is the first to grow. The wheat takes a little bit longer, right? And this is one of the reasons why, as we read through this, right, even to Shavuot, we'll see this connection. But here, verse 9, and Yahweh spake to Moshe Lamor, saying, speak, Dabir il bnei Yisrael, speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, when y'all become into the land that I give to you. Notice the context, right, and the condition of this, especially in the first type, right? Remember, this is a shadow, Brit Chadash, the fuller substance, right? But here it says, when y'all become into the land that I give you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then y'all shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to Ha-Kohen, to the priest. Verse 11, and he shall wave the tenufa, the wave offering, up, down, right? And from the side to side, that making of what we say the true cross, so that sign, that mark. And he shall wave the sheaf lifnei Yahweh, before Jehovah. So what does that mean like back then when they had the tabernacle, right? That is before the petach, right? Before the door of the tent, right? Before the door of the tent, and in symbology, right? Symbolism, that's before the Ark of the Covenant, right? He shall wave it before Yahweh, right? Just because sometimes one may ask, well, how is it before, Jehovah? In perspective of the holy place, perspective of the Petah, which is the door, which is right before, right, the direction of the Ark of the Covenant. He shall wave, right, Lifnei Yahweh, before Jehovah, to be accepted for you. So we bring our offerings, the context here, first fruits, the first things that are growing, right? First things, and it's interesting because it's on the second day. It's on the second day of Pesach by tradition that the Omer, what is a Omer? A Omer is like a sheaf of wheat. Check, is a sheaf of wheat. All right, that's what it says. When y'all be come into the land that I shall give you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then y'all shall bring a sheaf, a omer, of the first fruits of your harvest to HaKohen, and he shall do the tenufa, the wave, right, of the sheaf, lifnei Yahweh, for Jehovah, to be accepted for you. When? On the morrow. When the morrow, what's the morrow? We say, okay, on the morrow, tomorrow, the next day, on the morrow after HaShabbat, after the Shabbat HaKohen, the priest shall wave it. This is key significant, as we mentioned before. True, Hebrews and Hayudim and Judahites, we don't practice so-called Sunday worship in the sense of the Western Gentile, papal influence, Christians, but there is a first day. Even we can see right here that the morrow after the Shabbat, what day is the Shabbat? The seventh day. What day is after the Shabbat? The first day. So here in verse 11 of Leviticus chapter 23, we see some memes out there, and people say like, don't worship on Sunday or whatnot. And we Hebrews, and then they go really far. They say it's nowhere in the scripture, whatever, but you're kind of wrong that we do have a first day worship, but you're right that we don't have Sunday worship because the first day we never called it Sunday. That's why it says right here, to be accepted for you on the morrow, the next day after HaShabbat, after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. Remember, we're in the same chapter that it says in verse 3, 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of rest, a holy convocation. You all shall do no work therein. It is the Shabbat of Yahweh in all your dwellings. And now here in verse 11, it says, and he shall wave the sheaf before Jehovah to be accepted for you on the morrow, the next day after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. Now that becomes important in the counting, right, towards Shavuot, or towards the harvest called Pentecost in the New Testament, the 50th day. But first, verse 12, and ye shall offer that day when you'll wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year for an olah, ascension offering, olah, from Allah, to go up, the burnt offering, holocaust offering, consumption offering, la Yahweh, to Jehovah, and the mincha, the meal offering, the grain offering thereof, shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour, mingled with oil, and an offering made by fire, la Yahweh, to Jehovah, for a sweet savor, sweet smell, sweet savor. And the nesek, the drink offering thereof, shall be of wine, the fourth part of a hin, giving us even the measurements of these offerings. Verse 14, and this is key, and y'all shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that y'all have brought an offering to Elohim, to your Elohim. It shall be a statute, chukah, a hok, right? Forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings. This is the key part. But now, lest we just stop there for a moment, there's a kind of a continuity, right? From one feast and festival, even through whatever time might elapse. So now, here, the Bikurim, which Moshiach risen. 1 Corinthians 15:23. Got to touch on 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 23 with Bikurim. Why is Bikurim so significant? Why is it so significant? Because it was in the middle of the week. I know people keep talking about Friday, Good Friday, but you still can't get you making Moshiach a liar, because that's not 3 days and 3 nights. But the truth of the matter was in the middle of the week, like Daniel said it, he called it. Daniel said Messiah be cut off in the middle of the week. And it was in the middle of the week, the fourth day here, the Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday podcast, usually the fourth day of the week is in the fourth day, right? When Moshiach was crucified. Then, before they began their other Passover celebrations, Nicodemus and others recognized what Torah said, not to let anyone who hung or was lit, we say lynch or hung, their body to hang overnight and all of that. He went and got a habeas corpus, which literally means give me the body. Habeas corpus is a Latin phrase that says, give me the body. And he went to Pontius Pilate and to the administration, and basically requested the body, got the body, put in the tomb, right? All between that so-called, in Western time, we say 3 to 6, right? Over there, they would have said from 9, the 9th hour, from 9 to roughly the 12 would signify the evening had come. So they put his body within the tomb, and therefore we have Thursday, right? Or the 5th day, Thursday, 1 day, Friday, the 6th day, 2 days, 2 nights, Shabbat, the Saturday, day and night, 3 days, 3 nights. And then with Maryam Magdalene, the first witness, and the other woman, right, who saw him, Maryam Magdalene, Mary Magdalene, on the first day early. Remember, it says early. So he's already up early. But when was it? The first day. Right? Just want to point that out right there, because it was on that first day, right? The Yom Rishon, that today, nowadays, they call it in the Gregorian, in the Western Gentile sense, they call it Sunday. But properly, that's the first day, right? So the middle of the week, the fourth day, Wednesday, crucifixion in that year, right? Then we have the 5th, 6th, and 7th days, or what we call Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in the tomb, as he said, right? I said, let all men everybody be a liar, but Yahweh Eloheinu, and Moshiach, right? And I be true in Moshiach. Those are 3 days, right there. But here's what's important, that the same day that he was resurrected, at that time in that season, is the very same day that ones was offering the Bikurim, the first fruits, because the first fruits that had risen, right? This is the key that then syncs it and links it, right, with that harvest or Pentecost Shavuot. And I just want to share just briefly right here, because we have a psalm, today's daily psalm, but share that briefly with the feast of Jehovah, the wave loaves, the church at Pentecost, 50 days after the resurrection of Moshiach. Here, verse 15 of Leviticus chapter 23, Leviticus 23:15, still in this chapter, and y'all shall count, right? See what it says, count. Y'all shall count to you from the morrow after HaShabbat, after the Sabbath. So remember when it says in verse 11, right? On the morrow after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. And so from that very same day, it says, and y'all shall count to you from the morrow after the Shabbat, from the day that y'all brought the sheaf, just a sheaf, right? Of the wave offering, the tenufa, 7 Shabbats shall be complete. So we are counting from Shabbat to Shabbat. So this shows us that it's referring to the weekly Shabbat here. Very key. It begins off in Leviticus chapter 23 with the weekly Shabbat. And that there is the connection. That's the connection. You know, the notes down here in the Schofield Study Bible says the first 3 verses of Leviticus 23 do not relate to the feast. That is somewhat true. Directly, I'll say directly to the feast. But they separate the Shabbat from the feast. But then as we get into this, we see that there provides order to the comprehension of verse 11, right, as well as verse 15. So Leviticus chapter 23, verse 3, and then we get to verse 11 and verse 15. It's all pointing to time and all linking the Shabbat as a significant time. So we know that the Moshiach was not risen, right, on the Shabbat, so to speak, but on the morrow after the Shabbat, the same day the priest HaKohen waved, right, the first fruits, right, the first fruit. So here in verse 15 it says, and y'all shall count to you from the morrow after the Shabbat, right? So the 7th day, the next day will be the first day after the Shabbat. And what it says, from the day that y'all brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Shabbats. Notice it says 7 Shabbats, specifying the Sabbath, the 7th day, as one like week. We'll say 7 weeks. But notice how it's using the word Shabbats. Even to the morrow. When? Until when? How long we to count? Even to the morrow. That's the day after the 7th Shabbat, which brings us to the first day of the week. Yom Rishon, right? Ehud, called Sunday by others. Even to the morrow after the 7th Shabbat shall y'all number 50 days, and y'all shall offer a new mincha, a new meal offering, grain offering, la Yahweh. We're going to pause right there because that's moving forward. But why we touched on that is because when we come to Bikurim, there is a count of 7 Shabbats. As I would say, the 2 sevens clash, right? 7 Shabbats, right? So 7 times 7 is what? 49, right? Plus, it says the morrow after, that's plus 1, right? There we have 50 days. So Pentecost is basically the Koine Greek way of kind of bringing out the sense that the Hebrews, the Hayudim, the Judeans, the Messiah, of course, and his Talmudim, understood, right? So we need to get that same understanding. So the Feast of First Fruits here in verses 10 to 14 of Leviticus chapter 23, this moed, this appointment is typical of what? Resurrection. Right, resurrection. In the natural sense, is the crops growing, right, the first fruits, and then that very same day that they would wave the first fruits of the land of the crops, Moshiach risen, right? First of Moshiach, then of, quote, them that are Moshiach, those who are Messiahs at his coming, those who are Moshiachs at his coming. And here they have 1 Corinthians 15:23. 1 Thessalonians 4, verses 13 to 18. But here, we're going to zoom in on this verse right here, verse 23. 1 Corinthians 15:23. Where, okay, here we go. It says, every man in his own order. Every man in his own order. Moshiach, Messiah, referring to Yeshua HaNotzri, Moshiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Moshiach, those who are Messiahs, belong to Messiah, right, at his coming. Right, this is the verse right here. Recall echad, right? Recall and all echad, one with echad, and all one and one. And literally, the Hebrew is recall, modern Hebrew, recall echad ve'echad, recall echad with echad, and all, right, echad, one and one. Where it says, and every man, but every man. So the KJV has but every man. The Hebrew is more and all man and all one and one, actually, and all one and one. We call echad with echad. Bit sidro. Besidro, Sidro from the Sadar and the Seder, where we get the Seder, we say the Seder. Here we have the word Besidro, in Sidro, in his order, in his Seder, right? Besidro, Reishith, Besidro, Slikha, what's the verse? Okay. Besidaro, yeah, Reishith. Besidaro, Reishith. Kulam, HaMashiach, We'acharei, Cain, Asher Haim, La Moshiach, Be Bo'o. Let's just break this verse right here down. But every man in his own order. We call Echad, We'echad, Besidaro, and all one and one in his order. We call echad with echad besidro. Reishith, right? Reishith kulam. Reishith kulam. And the first of all, and the Reishith. But the Reishith is interesting because Reishith also referring to the first fruits there. The first, Reishith. And we say the Yom Rishon, the Rishon, right, is like the head first, speaking like Sunday, the first day, day one, Reishith. And also Reishith. We have Bir Reishith, in the beginning, in the first. So here it says Reishith Kulam, and the first of Kulam of all. Reishith Kulam HaMashiach. Reishith and the first, or first fruits, in the context here, of all is the Messiah. Reishith Kulam HaMashiach. Where Acharei, and afterwards, and after Cain, like after to say almost a Cain is like, and after so, after yes, Asher Haim, right? Those who are they, Cain, Asher Haim, La Mashiach, of Messiah, Bibo'o, La Mashiach, Bibo'o, La Mashiach, Bibo'o, in his coming, Bibo'o, and those who are of Moshiach in his coming. So we see this link right here with Bikorim, with Reishith, another name of it, as well as Reishith, referring to the first fruits, the first, Reishith. Moshiach is the first, and then those, right, at his coming or in his coming. So just to share this right here, just how Pesach, when we say Passover, then we speak about the matzot, or the unleavened bread. And then when we speak about, first fruits, what's the significance? What's the significance and how it's all connected, and also how they are, you could say, patterns or shadows, like the patterns of that which is more fully fulfilled in the Brit Hadasha, just to see that connection right there. So when we start to like the beautiful order and the order of things here, then we can understand how even those who did receive Moshiach in that first time were able to even look at scripture, right? And thus, once again, the hypocrisy of the Pharisees and the others, the religious hypocrites, because even us can look at it right here and say, well, if this is how they saw it and this is how it is, then how could they avoid it? That's why even in the Gospels, it talk about the Pharisees and scribes and chief priests, they were saying, oh, let's pay people and let them say that the disciples took his body away, because that was very, very embarrassing, right? And also it went to what Yeshua already had pointed out, the hypocrisy and his truthfulness, that on the same day, right, when the empty tomb, when he was risen, is the same day that ones and ones was offering the first fruits, right? And this is why ones like Rabbi Shaul, Hawaria Paulos, Paul, made those connections for I and I. But here, let's take a little Selah moment. We're going to pick up with today's daily psalm, which is significant in the season as well, as it has the Hoshiana, the Hosanna theme, Psalm 118. But here from Jah Light Records. Chan, hold up. Before we even go there, pray the eye. We finished the reading from the Torah, but let's just carry on with the reading from from Second Kings chapter 23, right? It's the Haftarah of the prophets reading, that concerns this day too. Shema'ah Yisrael.
Brit Chadasha, Chadis Kidan, renewed covenant reading for.
Here. We're getting to that.
Chapter 23, verses 1 through 9, verses 21 through 25. And the king, the Nagus, sent, and they gathered to him all the elders of Yehuda and Jerusalem. And the king went up into the house of Yahweh Buruku, and all the men of Yehuda and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem with him, and the priests and the prophets and all of the people, both small and great. And he read in their ears all the words of the book of the covenant which was found in the house of Yahweh Buruku. And the king stood by a pillar and made a covenant before Yahweh, Lifnei Yahweh, to walk after Yahweh Buruku, and to keep his commandments and his testimonies and his statutes with all their heart and all their soul, to perform the words of this covenant that were written in this book. And all the people stood to the covenant. And the king commanded Hilkiah the high priest, and the priest of the second order, and the keepers of the door, to bring forth out of the temple of Yahweh Buruku all the vessels that were made for Baal, and for the grove, and for all the host of heaven. And he burned them without Jerusalem in the fields of Kidron, and carried the ashes of them to Bethel. And he put down the adulterous priests whom the kings of Yehuda had ordained to burn incense in the high places in the cities of Yehuda, and in the places round about Jerusalem. Them also that burn incense to Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planet, and to all the host of heaven. And he brought out the grove from the house of Yahweh without Jerusalem to the brook Kidron, and burned it at the brook Kidron, and stamped it small to powder, and cast the powder thereof upon the graves of the children of the people. And he brake down the houses of the Sodomites that were by the house of Yahweh, where the women wove hangings for the grove. And he brought all the priests out of the cities of Yehuda, and defiled the high places where the priests had burned incense, from Geba to Beersheba, and break down the high places of the gates that were in the entering in of the gate of Yahshua, the governor of the city, which were on a man's left hand, at the gate of the city. Nevertheless, the priests of the high places came not up to the altar of Yahweh in Jerusalem, but they did eat of the unleavened bread among their brethren. Verses 21 to 25. And the king commanded all the people, saying, Keep the Passover to Yahweh your Elohim Buruku, as it is written in the book of his covenant. Surely there was not holden such a Passover from the days of the judges that judged Israel, nor in all the days of the kings of Israel, nor of the kings of Yehuda. But in the 18th year of King Josiah, wherein this Passover was holden to Yahweh Buruku in Jerusalem. Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Yehuda and in Jerusalem, did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law, which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of Yahweh Buruku. And like to him was there no king before him, that turned to Yahweh with all his heart, and with all his soul, and with all his might, according to the law of Moshe. Neither after him arose there any like him. Amen. Glory to him, words, sound, and power. Ja, Rastafari, Nagus Nagese, Ethiopia, Pesem Kitachim in the Hanatachim Yeshua, Amushia. Amen.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Give thanks, co-laborer Ras Sahar Ahad, right there. That reading of the good king Josiah and the Reformation. Interesting, the purge out the leaven. I should recall that, but the Hebrew sense of it says purge. It actually means like to burn it out. It's a very interesting connection right there. I want to find out if that's what, symbolically Josiah was doing, removing those things out of Yahweh's house and reforming and cleansing the place. But here to the Brit Chadasha right here. Yes, I give thanks to the read right here, coming forward from I and I co-labor, Ras Ayas and Tafari, and he is from Revelation. Revelation reveals the truth. Here.
Brit Chadasha, Chadis Kidan, Renewed Covenant reading for Feast of Unleavened Bread, Day 2. Chag HaMatzot Yom Sheni. Coming from the book of Revelation, chapter 15, verse 1 through 4. We'll be reading the full. We begin, B'Shem Ha'ab Ha'Bein Ruach HaKadosh Yahweh Ahad. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, He who He be, the One. Revelation, chapter 15. The 7 vials. Vision of the angels of the 7 last plagues. The bowls of the wrath of Elohim. Verse 1, Aleph. Verse 2, Beit. Verse 3, Gimel. Wa'era ot acher b'shemayim gadol v'nifla sheb'a malakim nosim et sheb'a hamakot ha'acheronot ki bahen kala za'am Elohim. Wa'era ki yam zikokit balul ba'esh وَيَتْ هَمْتْقَابْرِيم al-Hakaya وَال-Talma وَال-Tawa وَال-Misparshma Omdim al-Yam Hazikokit وَكِنُورot Elohim بِيَدَيْهِمْ وَيَشِرُّ et shirat Moshe Ebed Elohim وَشِرَّت Haseh Lemur Gdolim ma'aseka v'neflaim Yahweh Elohim Tzebaot Tzedek u'emet de'arkeka melech ha'kdoshim. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of Elohim. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Elohim. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Elohim, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh Elohim Tzebaot, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Who shall not fear thee, O Yahweh, and glorify thy name? For thou only art holy. For all nations shall come and worship before thee, for thy judgments are made manifest. And after that I looked, and behold, the temple of the tabernacle of the testimony in heaven was opened, and the 7 angels came out of the temple, having the 7 plagues, clothed in pure and white linen, and having their breasts girded with golden girdles. And one of the 4 beasts gave to the 7 angels 7 golden vials, full of the wrath of Elohim, who liveth forever and ever. And the temple was filled with smoke from the glory of Elohim and from his power. And no man was able to enter into the temple till the 7 plagues of the 7 angels were fulfilled. Kaborula Kalu, Kaborula Dimtu, Kaborula Khailu, Kaborula Kedamawi, Khaile Selassie, Beyesus Christos Sim. Glory to word, glory to sound, glory to power, glory to Abinu, Melkenu, our Father, our King, the first power of the Trinity, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Yes, I, Rastafari.
Yes, yes, yes. Here. For day two. And some reasoning as well to see how all the three feast festivals, how they go together and how they foreshadow how Moshiach, the King of Kings Christ. But here we have the Passover rhythm, just a little sample right here. Touch a little bit on today's daily Psalm 118, very, very important. Hallelujah. It's a kind of a hallelujah psalm right here. Yeah,
this is your girl Roxy sing on the Passover rhythm, saying that your light will shine. You know that your light will shine. Shine bright on all the heathen. Them shine your light upon the heathen. Them tell you already. You know that I am not going to tell you again. Them see me as the enemy, me and them no friend. Just keeping me protected, seated by his right hand. Before you get to me, you got to go through him. Got to make special mention. Be careful around me, I know your wicked intention. If Jah be for me, then he's the one I depend on. So know what you're doing before you get trod on. Yeah, before you get to me, don't you know you gotta go through him? Light of my life, oh Father, what's in heaven? Thank you for the gift. Don't you know it's a wonderful thing? Give thanks for his blessing. Get rid of envy and jealousy, working hand in hand. You know unity is the key. When we work together for prosperity, we got to get it right between you and me. Work it out with a love for the Almighty. Got to make special requests. Forget all the comments and all the stress. Invest is best to be the best. Much better than the rest to pass any test. I say, before you get to me, don't you know you gotta go through him? The light of my life, oh Father, what's in heaven? Thank you for the gift. Don't you know it's a wonderful thing? Give thanks for his blessing. You got to search out your heart, to your part, perseverance is the key to make a better life here for you and me. How all of a sudden you became my enemy, when all you had to do was just look out for me. We had to live for his honor and glory, but yet we still are fighting all the love he has shown we. Nothing I go right if you don't work beside me. Remember right now it's all about the Almighty. Yeah, before you get to me, don't you know you gotta go through him? The light of my life, oh Father, what's in heaven? Thank you for the gift. Don't you know it's a wonderful thing? Give thanks for his blessing. No one who's hoping you will ever be put to shame, but they will be put to shame who are treacherous with God's right hand. Before you get to me, you got to go through him. You're gonna see the light. Shining bright on all the heathen them. Heathen them. Yeah.
Yes. The Passover rhythm right there. Shine, you're the light of the world. You're the light of the world. Have to let the light so shine. Here, today's daily psalm, a little belated right here on the podcast, but still, it's a psalm for the season, even from the previous Shabbat before Pesach, Shabbat Ha-Gadol, the great Sabbath. This particular psalm pointing to when Moshiach, Yeshua HaNotri, rode into Jerusalem, and they said, Hoshiana Rabbah, great salvation. Here today's daily song.
Psalm 118. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, because his mercy endureth forever. Let Israel now say that his mercy endureth forever. Let the house of Aaron now say that his mercy endureth forever. Let them now that fear the Lord say that his mercy endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever. I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do unto me? Do unto me. Do unto me. Do unto me. The Lord taketh my part with them that help me. Therefore shall I see my desire upon them that hate me. On them that hate me. On them that hate me. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. All nations compassed me about, but in the name of the Lord will I destroy them. They compassed me about, yea, they compassed me about, but in the name of the Lord I will destroy them. They compassed me about like bees. They are quenched as the fire of thorns. For in the name of the Lord I will destroy them, I will destroy them, I will destroy them, I will destroy them. Thou hast thrust sore at me that I might fall, but the Lord helped me. The Lord is my strength and song, and is become my salvation. The voice of rejoicing and salvation is in the tabernacles of the righteous. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. The right hand of the Lord is exalted. The right hand of the Lord doeth valiantly. I shall not die, but live, and declare the works of the Lord. The Lord hath chastened me sore, but he hath not given me over unto death. Open to me the gates of righteousness. I will go into them, and I will praise the Lord. This gate of the Lord into which the righteous shall enter. I will praise thee, for thou hast heard me, and art become my salvation. The stone which the builders refused is become the headstone of the cornerstone of the cornerstone of the cornerstone of the cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing. It is marvelous in our eyes, in our eyes, in our eyes. This is the day which the Lord hath made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Save now, I beseech thee, O Lord. O Lord, I beseech thee, send now prosperity. Blessed be he that cometh in the name of the Lord. We have blessed you out of the house of the Lord. God is the Lord, which hath showed us light. Bind the sacrifice with cords, even unto the horns of the altar. Thou art my God, and I will praise thee. Thou art my God, I will exalt thee. O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever, endureth forever.
Mizmor of Yod Chet Aleph. Hodu la Yahweh ki le'olam chasdo. Give thanks to Yod He Wahei, he who be, who he be. Hodu la Yahweh, Hodu la Yahweh. Give thanks to he who be, who he be. Ki tov, for he is good. Ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo. For his loving kindness, his mercy endures forever. Ki le'olam chasdo. Make acknowledgement to Yod He Wahei, Yahweh. For he is good. Hodu la Yahweh. Ki tov, ki le'olam chasdo. For into the Eon, the Ion, the Olam, forever, le'olam chasdo. For his mercy endures forever. Beit. Yomar na Israel. Ki le'olam chasdo. May Israel say now. Now say, Yomar na. May Israel now say, Yomar na, Israel, ki le'olam chasdo, that his loving kindness, chasdo, his chesed, chasdo, his mercy endures forever. Yomar na, Israel, ki le'olam chasdo. Gimel. Yomru na Beit Aharon ki le'olam chasdo. May the house of Aharon, of Aaron, say now, O house of Aaron, Yomru na Beit Aharon ki le'olam chasdo, that his mercy, his loving kindness, chasdo, ki le'olam, endures forever. For into the Eon, the Ionis, the Olam, is his mercy. Dalet. Yomru na yireh Yahweh ki le'olam chasdo. Yomru na. Say now, may they say now, Yomru na, Yireh Yahweh, those who fear, those who reverence, those who respect Yod He Wahei, he who be, who he be, may they say now, Yomru na, Yireh Yahweh, ki le'olam chasdo, that his mercy, his loving kindness is forever, is endures to the Eon, for into the Olam, the Iones, is his mercy. Chet. Mina ha-mitz'ar karati ya anani ba-merahav ya. From my distress, mina ha-mitz'ar, from my distress, from out of affliction, mina ha-mitz'ar karati, I called Yah, I called upon Yah, called upon Jah. Mina ha-mitz'ar karati Yah, anani ba-merahav Yah, and Yah answered I, anani ba-merahav, in a large and abroad, in a large place. Yah, Jah, answered I. From out of affliction I called upon Jah, and Jah heeded, answered I, in an enlargement. Mina ha-mitz'ar karati Yah, anani ba-merahav Yah. Wow. Yahweh li, lo yira ma ya'iseli Adam. Yahweh Yod He Wahei, he who be, we be, Yahweh is for me. Yahweh li, Yahweh is for me. Yahweh li, lo yira, I shall not fear, no fear. Lo yira ma ya'iseli, what can to me do Adam? What can Adam do to me? Yahweh li lo yira ma ya'iseh li Adam. Yod He Wahei, to me, to I, is a helper, I shall not fear. What can Adam do to me? Zain. Yahweh li bi'ozarai wa ani ere'eh bi'sonai. Yod Hey Weh Hey, he who he be, is for me, is for I, among those who help I, Yahweh li bi ozai, wa ani, and I, ani, wa ani, ere'e bi sonai. Therefore I shall see, seen, I desire, on those who hate I, wa ani, ere'e bi sonai. Yod Hey Weh Hey, to I is a helper, Yahweh li bi ozai, and I, wa ani, ere'e, I shall scrutinize, wa ani, ere'e, bi sonai, I shall scrutinize my haters, my enemies. Chait, tob, lachsot, by Yahweh, mi boteyach, ba Adam. It is better to take refuge in Yod Hey Weh Hey, he who he be. Oh, good. Lachesot, to take refuge, to yield, take refuge by Yahweh. Yod Hey Weh Hey, and he who he be. Mi boteyach, ba Adam. Then to trust in Adam, me from Boteyach, trust, confidence, by Adam, then confidence in man. It is good to yield, to take refuge to Yod Hey Weh Hey, Yahweh, Yahweh, then to yield, then to have confidence, to put confidence in Adam, in man. 8. Oh, Balachesota by Yahweh, mi Boteyach, be nidbim. It is better, it is good, tob, lachisot, to take refuge, lachisot, by Yahweh, in Yod Hey Weh Hey, by Yahweh, mi boteyach, from having confidence, hope, trust, be nidbim, then to trust, then to place confidence, be nidbim, in the nidbim, in rulers, in princes. Yod, kol goyim sebabuni b'shemi Yahweh ki emilam. All nations, call goyim, call all goyim, all nations, nationalities, ethnicities, call goyim sebabuni, surrounded ani, me, sebabuni, b'shemi Yahweh, b'shemi Yahweh, ki emilam, but in the name of Yod Hey Weh Hey, b'shemi Yahweh, b'shemi Yahweh, ki emilam, for I shall destroy them. I have repulsed them. All nations, the goyim, nationalities, encircled I. And in the name of Yahweh, b'shemi Yahweh, ki emilam, I have destroyed them. I'll destroy them in the name of Yod Hey Weh Hey. Yod Aleph. Sabuni, Damasir Babuni, b'shemi Yahweh, ki emilam. They surrounded me. Sabuni, they surrounded Ani, I. Sabuni, Dam, Sebabuni, they also surrounded I. B'shemi Yahweh, and in the name of Yod Hey Weh Hey, ki emilam, but in the name of Yod Hey Weh Hey Yahweh, the name of Yahweh, I shall destroy them. In encircling, they encircled I. Sabuni, Gama Sevavuni, Gama Sebabuni. In encircling, they encircled I. B'shem Yahweh, ki emilam. But in the name of Yahweh, I repulse them, I destroy them. Yod Beit, Sabuni, ki deborim do'iku k'eisha kotzim b'shemi Yahweh, ki emilam. They surrounded me, encircled me like bees. Sabuni, kidborim, Sabuni, kidborim, do'eku. They were extinguished, ka'esh. They were distinguished as fire, ka'esha, kotzim. They were extinguished as a fire of thorns. B'Shem Yahuwah, B'Shemi Yahweh, Ki Milam. For in the name of Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, I shall destroy them. They encircled me as bees at a honeycomb, and they burnt away as fire among thorn bushes. And in the name of Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh, Yahuwah, Yahweh, I repulse them. Yod Gimel, Yod Gamel, Dacho Dechitani, Linpol wa Yahuwah Azarani. Dacho Dechitani, Linpol wa Yahweh Azarani. You pushed I violently so that I was falling. Dacho dechitani limpol. But Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh, Yahuwah Azarani. But the Yahweh, Yahweh Azarani, the Yahweh Azarani, helped Ani, Azarani, being thrust through. I was prostrated to fall. Dacho de chitani, linpol, to fall, linpol, wa Yahuwah, wa Yahweh. But he who be is Arani. But the Yahweh took hold of me. Yod Dalet. Alzi, Zimrat, Yah, Wayehi, Li, Shu'ah. Yah, Jah is my strength and song. Alzi, with Zimrat Yah, and he has become to me for the salvation. Why he, and he who he be, for me, Li Shu'ah, salvation, deliverance, is my strength and my singing of praise, Yah. And he became to me, to I, for deliverance, Yeshua, salvation. Tate Vav, Tate Wow. Ol Rina, we Yeshua, Be'ahle Tzadikim, Yemini Yahuwah, Osa Hayel. The sound of joyful shouting, Kol Arina, the sound of joyful shouting, a voice of exultation, Kol Arina, we Yeshua, and salvation, we Yeshua, and deliverance and deliverance, Be'ahle Tzadikim, Be'ohle Tzadikim, in the tents of the Tzadikim, in the tents of the righteous, in the tents of the just, Be'ahle Tzadikim, Yemini Yahuwah, Osa Hayel, the right hand of Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh, of Yahweh, Osa Hayel, does valiantly, does powerfully, does the Hayil, Osa Hayil, a voice of exaltation and deliverance in the tents of the just. The right hand of Yahuwah, of Jehovah, acts, works in power. Osa Hayil, Tate Zain. Yemini Yahuwah, Rome Ma, Yemini Yahweh, Osa Hayel, the right hand of Yahweh, Yemin Yahweh, Rome Ma is exalted, Rome Ma, Yemini, the right hand of Yahweh, Osa Hayel, does valiantly, acts with Hayel, acts in power. Yod Zain. Lo amut ki echyeh. Why sapera ma'ise ya? I shall not die. Lo amut. Lo, no amut. Die. I shall not die. Lo amut ki echyeh. But live. Ki, for echyeh. Yet shall live. I shall not die, that I shall live. Lo amut ki echyeh. Why sapera ma'ise ya? And I shall describe, I shall tell of the works, ma'ise, the works, the doings, ma'ise ya, the works of Jah. Yod Chet, verse 18. Yod Chet. Yasora Yisrani Ya Lama Weta Lo Netanani. Jah has disciplined I severely. Yasora Yisrani Ya. In corrected I Jah. Yasora Yisrani Ya. Lamaret lo nitanani. Lamaweta lo nitanani. But he has not given me over to Mavet, to death. In corrected I Jah, and to death he shall not deliver I. Yod 8. Pitachuli sha'arei tzedek abo bama odeh ya. Open to I the gates of righteousness. Pitachuli sha'arei tzedek. I shall enter through them. Abo bam. I shall give thanks to Jah. Odeh ya. Pitachuli sha'arei tzedek. Abo bam odeh ya. Open to I the gates of righteousness, and entering in them I shall confess to Jah. Kaf. Zeh hasha'ara la Yahweh tzadkim yabo abau. This is the gate of Yod Hey Wehei, he who be Yahweh of Yahweh. Zeh hasha'ara la Yahweh tzadikim yabo bo. The righteous, the tzadikim, shall enter through it. Yabo bo. They shall enter, the just, they shall enter in it. Kaf Aleph. Odeka. Kia nitani watahi li shua. I shall thank the I. Odeka kia nitani, for the I has answered. Ani has answered I. Kia nitani watahi li shua, and the I has become to I, for I, watahi li, salvation, li shua, watahi li, the I, and you became for I, Yeshua, lishua, salvation, victory, deliverance. Eben ma'asu haboni ma'aita lerosh pina, the stone which the builders rejected. Eben ma'isua habonim has become haita, the head, lerosh, of the corner, bina. Eben ma'isua habonim haita lerosh bina, the stone which rejected the builders, this one became for the head of the corner. Kaf beit. Eben ma'asu habonim haita lerosh bina. Kaf gimel, kaf gamel. Me'eta Yahweh haita zoti nifalata be'ayanein. This is from Yod Hey Weh Hey, He Who Be Who He Be, Me'eta Yahweh, Haita Zot. This has become from He Who Be Who He Be. By Yahweh, this happened. Me'eta Yahweh, Haita Zot. He. It is marvelous. Nifalata bi'ayanenu. Bi'ayanenu is marvelous in aynenu, in ayanai eyes. By the Yahweh, this happened. And it is wonderful. It is marvelous in ayanai eyes. Ma'ita Yahuwah haita zotahi. Nifalata bi'ayanenu. Kaf Dalet. Kaf Dalet. Ze hayom asa Yahuwah nagila we nisa mechabo. This is the day. Ze hayom asa Yahuwah nagila we nisa mechabo. This is the day which Yod Hey Weh Hey, He Who Be Who He Be has made. Ze hayom asa Yahuwah. Ze hayom asa Yahweh. This is the day which He Who Be Who He Be has made. Nagila, let us rejoice. Nagila, Nagila, we nisamechabo. Make I and I rejoice. We shall exalt. Nagila, we nisamechavo, and be glad. We nismecha, and I shall be glad. Ba'u, be glad in Him, be glad in it. Ze hayom asa Yahoah. Nagila, we nisamechabo. Kaf hey, Kaf hey. Anna Yahuwah Hoshiana, Anna Yahuwah Hatzlichana. Oh Yahweh, Yod Hey Weh Hey, oh He Who Be Who He Be, do save now. Anna Yahuwah Hoshiana, Anna Yahweh Hoshiana. Oh Yahweh, deliver, I liver, indeed. Anna Yahuwah Hatzlichana. We beseech the eye, O Yahweh. Make prosperity now. Anna Yahweh Hoshiana. Anna Yahuwah Hatzlichana. Anna Yahuwah Hoshiana. Anna Yahuwah Hatzlichana. We beseech the eye, O Yahweh. Do save, Hoshiana. Do save now. We beseech the eye, O Yahweh. Make prosper the way, indeed. Kaf Wow, verse 26. Kaf Wow. Baruch haba b'shem Yahweh, beraka nukema mi beiti Yahweh. Baruch haba, blessed. Baruch haba, blessed is the one who comes. Baruch haba b'shemi Yahuwah, blessed is the one who comes in the name of Jehovah. Baruch haba b'shemi Yahuwah, beraka nukema mi beiti Yahweh. We, I and I, have blessed the eye from the house, mi beiti Yahuwah, from the house of Jehovah. Being blessed is the one coming in the name of Yod Hey Weh Hey Yahweh. We, I and I, blessed you from the house of Yod Hey Weh Hey Yahweh. Kaf Zain. El Yahweh. Vaya'er lanua Yisru Hag. Ba'ebotim Ada Karnota Hamizbeach. Yod Hey Weh Hey, He Who Be Who He Be, is El, is the true good, the true God, El Yahweh. Vaya'er lanu. And He has shined. He has shined upon I, upon us. Wayaer lanu. Isaru, Isaru, Isaru Chag, Isru Chag, Isru Chag, Isru Chag. Bind the festival sacrifice. Isaru Chag. Ba eboti ma'adak arnota ha-mizbeach. Bind the festival sacrifice with cords to the horns of the Mizbeach, ha-Mizbeach, to the horns of the altar. El Yahuwah wa Yair lanu Isaru Chaga ha-eboti ma'adak arnota ha-Mizbeach. Stand. Yahuwah is El, and He shined upon us. Stand together for a feast with the ones making tents the victims to the horns of the altar. Kaf Chet. Eliata. We odeka El Hai. Iromimeka. The I are El, my source, my power. Eliata, my El, the I be my El. Eliata, with Odeka, and I shall confess to the I. Elohai, Haliai, Elohai, Romimeka. The I are the El of mine, my El Hai Haliyai, Romim Mekah, and I will lift the I, male of high, for you took heed of I, and became to I. Kaf Tate, Hodu la Yahweh, Ki Tob, Ki Le'olam Chasdo. Give thanks to Yod Hey Weh Hey, He who be, Hodu la Yahweh, Ki Tov, for He is good, Ki le'olam chasdo, for forever is His loving kindness, for into the Ayon, the Olam, forever is His mercy. Hodu la Yahweh, Ki Tov, Ki le'olam Chasdo.
King of Israel.
מזמור ק"ח. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמר נא ישראל, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא בית אהרון, כי לעולם חסדו. יאמרו נא יראה אדוני, כי לעולם חסדו. מן המצר קראתי, ענני במרחב, אדוני לי לא אירא, מה יעשה לי אדם? אדוני לי בעוזרי, ואני אראה בשונאי. טוב לחסות באדוני מבטוח באדם, טוב לחסות באדוני מבטוח בלבבים. כל גויים סבבוני בשם אדוני כי עמילם, סבוני גם סבבוני בשם אדוני כי עמילם. סבוני כדבורים, דועכו כאש קוצים, בשם אדוני כי עמילם. דחו דחיתני לנפול, ואדוני עזרני. עוזי וזמרתיה, ויהי לי לישועה. עול רינה וישועה באוהלי צדיקים, ימין אדוני עושה חיל. ימין אדוני רוממה, ימין אדוני עושה חיל. לא אמות כי אחיה, ואספר מעשיה. יסור יסרניה, ולמוות לא נתנני. פיתחו לי שערי צדק, אבוא בם פודיה. זה השער לאדוני, צדיקים יבואו בו. עודך כי עמתני, ותהי לי לישועה. אבן מעשו הפונים, הייתה לראש פינה. מאת אדוני הייתה זאת, היא נפלט בעינינו. זה היום עשה אדוני, נגמילה ונשמחה בו. ענה אדוני הושיענה, ענה אדוני הצליחנה. ברוך הבא בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני. אל אדוני ויער לנו, יסרו חג בעבותים, עד קרנות המזבח. אלי אתה ועודקה, אלוהי ארוממך. הודו לאדוני כי טוב, כי לעולם חסדו.
Aaron. Make the house of Aaron now say, Yomru na veit ahiron ki le'olam chasdo. So let the house of Aaron now say, can be expounded. This verse here, today's daily psalm, may be expounded. Yomru na veit ahiron ki le'olam chasdo. Expounding this by way of a mashal, a parable of a householder who conducted himself generously with his tenants. At the time of reckoning up accounts, he did not haggle with them. At harvest time, he let them have whatever was left in the granary. And at vintage time, he let them have whatever was left in the wine vat. We do not know, however, what his conduct was towards his own household. Who does know? His servants and the dwellers in his manor house. And who are the servants of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Who are the servants of the Holy One? Blessed be He. The house of Aaron, Beit Ahiron, the Beit Ahiron, who bring offerings to him at all times, at all hours. Therefore, Yomru na Beit Ahiron, ki le'olam chasdo, chasdo, chasdo. Make the house of Aaron now say, Yomru na Beit Ahiron. Y'all, make them all now say, Yomru na, Yomru. They to say, na, now. So make, pray the I. Make them say, Yomru na Beit Ahiron, house of Aaron. That is, make them say what I have done for their sake to every man who rose up against them. Korah and his company, his assembly, rose up against them. The earth swallowed them up. Uzziah rose up and sought to offer incense and sought to offer obeisance. According to 2 Chronicles 26:19, leprosy broke forth in his forehead. Vayazafa Uzziah uave yado mia ketreta lehakatir uave zaipo ima hakohanima vehatzaraata zarha v'mitzocho lefnei hakohanim bevaiti Yehovah me'ala lemizbach haketret. And here, Second Chronicles 26:19, the fuller verse. Then Uzziah was wroth and had a censer in his hand to burn incense, to burn obeisance. And while he was wroth with the priests, HaKohanim, the leprosy even rose up in his forehead before the priests in the house of Jehovah, from beside the incense, from beside the obeisance altar. Wayiz'afa Uzziyahu, Ua bi'yado miketareta lehaktir, Ua bi'zaipo, Ubi'zaipo, Im ha-kohanim, Ve'hatzara'ata zarcha, Bi'mitzacho, Lifnei ha-kohanim, Be'veit Yahuwah me'Allah le-mizbach ha-ketoret. So Uzziah Uzziah rose up and sought to offer Aishans, the kitaret, the incense. Leprosy broke forth in his forehead. Zarcha b'mitzocho. And why have I given Aaron such reward? Because he walked, he trotted in uprightness before me, and studied my Torah. As is said even in Malachi 2 and 6, the law of truth was in his mouth. He walked with me in peace and uprightness. The law, the Torah, the law of truth was in his mouth. He walked, he trod with I in peace and uprightness. Torat emet hayta befihu Shalom mishora halakiti, the law of truth, the Torah of truth, Torat Emet, the law of Emet, of truth. Haita befihu, was in his mouth. Haita was befihu, in his mouth. Shalom mishor halak iti, he walked with me, with I, halak iti, in peace, shalom, and uprightness, mishor. Torah emet haita befihu, shalom, mishor, halak iti. Another comment on, so let the house of Aaron now say, Yomru na beit Aharon. The verse refers to the Israelite midwives, to the midwives in Mitzrayim. The verse here referring to the midwives, the Israelite midwives in Mitzrayim, in Egypt. Now here in the Midrash notes, the midwives are said to have been Aharon, Aaron's mother and sister. Here in the Midrash commentary notes, the midwives are said to have been Aaron's mother and sister. So the verse, Yomruna Beit Aharon, so may make the house of Aaron now say, make them say, the house of Aaron, referring to the midwives in Mitzrayim, because they did not obey Pharaoh, as is said even in Shemot in Exodus 1 and 17. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them. Vatirena ha me yaldota et haElohim velo asu kasher diber elehen melek Mitzrayim wata hayina et hayaladim. But the midwives, ha me yaldot, but the midwives feared, reverenced, respected ha Elohim, the true good, the true God. Wa ti'ena ham yaldota et ha-Elohim, and did not as the king of Mitzrayim, the king of Egypt, commanded them. V'lo asu ka'asher diber elehen melech Mitzrayim, but save the men, the male children alive. But save the male children alive. Wat hayena et ha-Yiladim. And what did I do for them? Scripture tells, according to Exodus 1 and 21, Shemot, it says, and it came to pass, because the midwives feared, reverence ha-Elohim, the true good, the true God, that he made them houses. Vayehi ki yayaru hama yaldot et ha-Elohim vayasa lahem batim. And it came to pass, it came to pass because the midwives feared, reverence ha-Elohim, the true good, the true God. Ki yaru hama yaldot et ha-Elohim, that he made them houses. Vayas lahem batim. And here, the Midrash note is priestly and royal families. What is meant by that he made them houses refers to priestly and royal families. Confer Exodus Rabbah 1 and 17. So let them now that fear, that reverence the Lord say, hear, 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 according to the words of today's daily psalm. Mizmor Kof Yod Chet. Yomru na Yirei Yahuwah. Yomru na Yirei Yahweh. So make them now that fear, that reverence the Lord, he who be who he be, Jehovah say. Yomru na, let them say, Yomru na, Yirei Yahuwah, Yirei Adonai, Yirei Yahuwah. Who are they that Yirei Yahweh, Yirei Adonai? Who are they that fear, that reverence, that respect? Yirei Jehovah, the house of David, the house of David. For David said, even in Psalm 119, verse 63, I am a companion of all them that fear, that respect, that reverence thee, I. I am a companion of all them that respect thee, reverence thee, I. And here in Mizmor Kof Yod Tet, here at the 63rd verse, Chaver ani lekol asher yireuka. I am a companion. Chaver ani. Chaverani. Chaver ani. I am a companion. Lekol asher yireuka. Of all them that reverence, that respect. And I chooses, and I associates only from those who are like-minded to himself. The meaning here, Chaver ani lekol asher yireuka. And what did David do for Ha'el, the true good, the true God, for Ha'elohim? Well, saying in 2 Samuel 7:2, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of God, the ark of Ha'elohim, the true good, the true God, dwelleth within curtains. Vayomer Hamelech el Natan Hanavi, Re'eh na Anochi, Yosheva beveita Irazim, Va'aron Ha'elohim Yosheva betoka Hayari'ah. See now, I dwell in a house of cedar. Re'eh na, Re'eh, see now, Re'eh na, Anochi Yoshev beveit Irazim. I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of Ha'elohim dwelleth within curtains. Wa'aron Ha'elohim, and the ark of Ha'elohim, Wa'aron Ha'elohim Yoshev b'tok Hayari'ah, dwelleth within Yeri'ah, in curtains, within curtains. He set out to build Ha'hekal, the temple. And in return, what did I do for him? Here, according to the words of Psalm 89, verses 29 to 30, it reads, my mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast, firm with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. Le'olama eshmar lo chasidi, uvriti anemeneta lo, ve'samti la'ada zar'o, ve'chis'o kimeya shamayim. Forever will I keep for him my mercy. Le'olam, the Ketiv here says eshmor lo, or the Kerre, eshmar lo. I will keep for him chasidi, keep for him my mercy. Uberiti, and my covenant, beriti, uberiti nemenetalo, and my covenant shall stand fast, shall stand firm with him. V'samtiya la'ada zar'o, his seed zar'o, also will I make to endure forever. V'samtiya la'ada zar'o, his seed zar'o, also will I make to endure forever. V'samti la'ada zar'o, v'chiso'o kimeya shamayim, and his throne kismei as the days, ki yemei ki me, with Kiso'oa Kimeya Shamayim, and his throne as the days of heaven. Kiso'oa Kime Shamayim. Hence, here in the Midrash notes, it says, according to the PE, according to the printed edition of the Midrash Tehillim, the study on the Psalms, says, hence the phrase, so let Israel now say. Right here, this is read in connection with the quote here from Psalm 89, verses 29 to 30, Hebraically speaking. I think in the KJV, that would be actually verses 28 to 29. Here we have Yomar na Yisrael. Hence, so make Israel, Yisrael, now say. Yomar na Yisrael. Yomar, to say, for him to say, na, now. Yomar na Yisrael. Therefore, when it reads here in Psalm 89, Mizmor Fate 8, page 8, Hebraically verses 29 to 30, KJV verse 28 to 29, Hebraically verses 29 to 30, Le'olam eshmorlo, Le'olam eshmarlo hasidi, uvriti anemenetlo, We'samti al'ada zar'o, We'kiso'oa kimei, Shamayim, my mercy will I keep for him forever, and my covenant shall stand fast, firm with him. His seed also will I make to endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven, as the days of Shamayim. Wikiso Kimei Shamayim. I shall do this for him, not only in this world, but also in the Olam Haba, as is said even in Psalm 103, verse 17, where it reads, but the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, that reverence, that respect him, and his righteousness to children's children. Here, Shema Yisrael, here, Mizmor Kof Gimel, Kof Gamel, here, Psalm 103, verse 17, Hebraically, V'chesed Yahuwah me olama ve'ada olama al yireayo ve'zidakato alivnei avanim. But the mercy of Jehovah, v'chesed Yahuwah, but the mercy of Jehovah is from everlasting to everlasting. V'chesed Yahuwah me olam ve'ad olam, upon them that fear, that reverence, that respect him. Al Yireayo, and his righteousness with idkato, and his idkato, his righteousness with idkato, livnei banim, to children's children.
Yes, children. Yes, I, children. Hashem Yeshua. Here. That was a little bit there on Psalm 118, very important psalm. It's interesting as I listen to the verse by verse. Yah, the by grammaton, the two letters, not Yahuwah or the Yod Hey Weh Hey, the four letters, is I think 6 times in that particular psalm. It's very, very interesting right there. Make for a great study. But here on the outro, give thanks, brothers and sisters, right here. Heading into the third day, the intermediate days of the Passover season, still in the unleavened bread. But this tune here, Odili, Passover, 1979 classic here on the outro right here. Shalom, Chaverim, Shalom. Chag Pesach, Sameach, Chag HaMatzot, Sameach, simply Chag, feast, Pesach, speaking of the whole thing, with the 3 particulars, Passover, unleavened bread, and first fruits. Here, Odili, Passover, 1975.
Jacob, get prepared to leave this land. Children of Jacob, get prepared. People of Jacob, just about to show his hand. People of Jacob, don't be scared. It could be noon, you don't know. It could be soon, get ready to go. I have heard your wail way up in the skies. I have seen your tears all these captive years. All you have to do is pay heed to my word. I will show to you that I am Judge Lord. Of Jacob, it's a lamb I desire. Children of Jacob, without blemish. People of Jacob, you must smoke it in the fire. Children of Jacob, that's my wish. But the blood, you must splash it on your doorpost. Cause my angel will come past like a ghost. He will surely slay in Egypt the firstborn. Man and beast, there will be wailing in the morn. I will put all Egypt's house to shame, so that the world know that Jaja is my name.
Right there. O, Dilly, O apostrophe D-I-L-I. 1979 classic right there, Passover, O Dilly. Classic tune right there for Pesach. Yes, the blood upon the doorposts of I and I, heart to clay. May Yahuwah Eloheinu bless the eye, keep the eye, cause his face, his grace to shine on the eye, and I. Give I and I Yeshua Shalom in the new day, and the days, and the trod, and the forwards. Give thanks, brothers and sisters. Yes, I. Yeah, heal up, Sister Sharon. Yeah, fire, and all of the them that, brothers and sisters and brothers that support this podcast right here, with the readings, the feedings, and the fellowship here on the air and the irit. Shua Shalom. Laila Tov, a good night, and a Boker Tov, and a good rise. Yes, I. Shua Shalom. Get them out, how does Allah say? Be well, Rastafari. And